I personally sound like a sim when I write songs. It is just nonsense. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, for those who don't know, and here we talk about country music. In the last few videos, I've done a review. I've done a collection of country songs that were popular in milestone years of my life, and today I thought I would teach you how to write a country song, or at least how I write a country song. Before we get started, if you like country music and you like this type of content, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to get notifications for when I post my next video. If you want to see more content like this, hit the like button. I want to see your feedback, and I will direct my channel in that sort of direction that you guys want, but also doing things that I enjoy as well. So let's jump right into how to write a country song. A lot of people over the years have asked me how I write my songs. It's a process that I took forever to learn. Now, notoriously, my songwriting style revolves around country music. I love the story, I like the lyrics, and I'm less concerned with chord progressions. I'm pretty basic when it comes to things. I'm not doing anything crazy or jazzy or interesting in the chord progressions. I like to keep it all in the melody and in the lyrics because I think that's where my writing shines. I thought this would be a good place for beginner songwriters to seek inspiration, get help in areas that they might be struggling with, because this is just how I write, how I get started. So maybe you're struggling with the same things that I did when I first started songwriting. Here are some of the materials that you'll need to start writing your first song. First, you'll need an instrument to play your chord progressions on, which can be either a piano or a guitar. Those are the most common. I write on a guitar because I feel like that's more country. But you know, do not let that stop you. Country ballads can be played on a piano as well. If you are new to guitar, like what I was when I started songwriting, it'll help you a lot to have a capo so you can transpose and change keys and really just make it easier on your hands. I've got small baby hands. I don't know if you can tell that through the camera, but my tiny hands cannot do those crazy bar chords for a whole song. So a capo is really helpful. Now you need a place to write down your ideas. So there's notebooks, there's laptops, you can use your phone. My preferred method of writing down my ideas is a notebook, specifically a sketchbook. I like that it has blank pages and there's no lines to creatively restrict me. I just find that, you know, with a pen or pencil in the sketchbook, I am able to write down my thoughts and my lyrics and the chords, and it's okay if it's a little messy because there's no lines. Like, I'm anxious about the lines. So the sketchbook really helps me when I've gone through one already. This is my second one. But when I started using the first one, songwriting just became so much easier for me. So maybe this will help. Now here are some tools that I actually use when I am songwriting. Now all the tools that I use are apps on my phone, and I think you can find either these specific apps or variations on almost any device. And so these are really accessible tools that are free. I might have paid for one, but you can get them for free in other apps. Don't think you have to spend a lot of money to write music, because you don't. I mean, if you're gonna spend any money on songwriting, get yourself a really nice instrument to play on that stays in tune, because that'll make a difference when you're writing. And spend your money on your instruments is what I'm saying. The first app that I use is my voice memos app on my phone. This is the first tool that I started using when I was songwriting, because I tell myself that I'll remember this tomorrow, and then I never do. And so even though I write it down on my notebook, I still gotta record it into my voice memos just to remind myself how exactly it sounded, so I don't change it too much from what it was. I'm assuming that if you're watching this is like a beginner's guide, and so you probably don't have Pro Tools. You might have Logic or like GarageBand if you have a MacBook, but this is kind of an easy, quick way to record your thoughts on the fly. Musical thoughts pop into your head and they'll pop right back out 5 seconds later, so you gotta get it down as fast as you can. So the voice memos app on my phone has like hundreds of just little melodic pieces or chord progressions that I've thought of throughout the years. The next tool that I use is a song title generator. When I am at a loss for a title or a subject, I just hop onto a song title generator and it just inspires me. A lot of the songs that I've written have been inspired by the kind of corny titles that they produce. And I've kind of pulled what I like and left what I don't like, and that's how I write the songs. The one website that I do use that I've kind of like made into an app on my phone is the Fantasy Name Generator. I use that for a lot of things, not just songwriting. There's a lot of cool generators on there, so you should go check it out. But I use the songwriting one a lot to find titles for my songs. The next tool that I use is another website that I've made into an app on my phone, which is RhymeZone. It is incredible how fast you can write a song when you just have a list of rhymes displayed right out in front of you. It's super helpful when you're looking for exact rhymes or near rhymes, close rhymes. No song is just gonna go without rhymes, so it's really helpful to expand your vocabulary with RhymeZone or something similar that gives you rhymes with the words that you need. You just type it in, all of the words that rhyme with it will show up, and it's really helpful, and it kind of takes a little bit of that thought out of it. So you're sitting there and you know only 3 words that rhyme with it, but then this gives you like a million more with like various different syllables, and it's super helpful when trying to find that perfect word to fit in. The next tool that I use when I'm songwriting is the Metronome app. I think it's just called Metronome. It's free. It's super awesome. You can tap on the screen the tempo of what you're singing or what you're playing, and it will tell you exactly what the tempo of the song is, so you can keep it consistent throughout your songwriting. And you can add in a tempo change or take away tempo, but like it's really nice to have a baseline of how fast or slow your song is or is going to be. So I've had songs that I've written which are really fast, but now they're a much slower tempo. Having the Metronome app really helps figure out how you're going to pace the song. Another thing that inspires me a lot when I'm songwriting is other songs that I really enjoy listening to. Now, I've listened to a lot of new songs recently, and there have been like chord progressions that I really adore. The place where I go to find how to play those songs and how to like uplift those chords and put them in mind is Ultimate Guitar. The Ultimate Guitar has loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of guitar tabs where you can go and play them, and you can go see what the chords are, you can transpose it. There's just a ton of stuff you can do on Ultimate Guitar that I love, that I've used so much over the years when I've either wanted to learn how to play a cover or wanted to write a song and just change it and make it my own from songs I already really like. Lastly, a piano app. Now, you might not need this if you have a piano or a keyboard, but I use it because I don't have one available to me that is in tune. And so this helps me map out my melodic lines and figure out quickly what chords will match up with that line. These next things are techniques that I use when I'm songwriting. When you're talking about chord progressions, there's rules, but there aren't rules. It's kind of a thing, but not really a thing. So I'm gonna give you some basic tips on how I do it and how I come across chord progressions that make sense and are relatively easy to understand. Country music in itself is 3 chords and the truth, and the most common chord progression is the 1-4-5 progression. A quick music theory lesson: the Roman numerals I just mentioned are a universal way to communicate a chord and its quality, be it major or minor or other things. Finding these chords and recognizing their quality is pretty simple. The 1 chord is the first chord of the key. So in the key of C, which has no sharps and no flats, the first chord is C, and it's major. From there, you count up 4, including C, to get to your 4th chord, which is F. C, D, E, F, and that's major. And from there, you can do the same process, but count up from 5. C, D, E, F, G. That's just the G, that's a major chord as well. So the chord progression would be C, F, G. 1-4-5. As I mentioned, another technique that I love to use when writing country songs is uplifting chord progressions that I like from other songs, and that's might be something easier you can do to start. It might be hard to come up with something on your own, or you can just pick up a chord progression that you really like from Ultimate Guitar and play it through, see what works, see what doesn't, and just try to write something new with it. The next tips that I have are regarding melody. I usually start by writing the chorus first. Now, this might not be a technique that suits you, but for me, getting the bulk of the song out of the way first usually sets me up for a really good song. Try to use your catchiest material here. I try to make my choruses really catchy so the audience or the people listening to it will instantly be hooked by the first chorus. You can use silly words, weird noises when trying to fill this in, but just try to make it as catchy as possible because this is where you're going to get the most people to enjoy your song. You've written the chord progression and the melody. Awesome. Now it's time to focus on the lyrics. For me, this is usually where I struggle. Writing catchy melodies is kind of my thing, so I have no issues with that. I'll spend 5 minutes writing the harmony and melody of a tune, but then spend weeks, months, even years trying to figure out the right lyrics to put to it. Don't let my process scare you though. That might not be your issue. I've met tons of songwriters who are like, I have all these words, but no harmonic or melodic ideas. I envy you. So I wish I could come up with meaningful lyrics just on the spot, but I can't. Individual songwriters have their own individual problems when it comes to songwriting. For me, having a title in mind really helps. So maybe try finding a song title that you really like, or even using the song title generator. Write a story with your song. Having a title really helps, but having a story sets like a foundation for the whole song. You wouldn't write a novel without an outline of how the story is gonna go. So it's useful to write one when you're writing music as well. Song structure is not that important. You wanna make it interesting, but there aren't really a ton of rules when it comes to song structure. The song structure that I follow most often is verse 1, pre-chorus, chorus, verse 2, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, and then that final chorus. And then you may add an intro and add an outro or mix it up as you see fit, but typically the song structure that most pop songs have and most country songs is either verse, chorus, or the extended version that I just gave you. Now, if you're having a tough time finding inspiration for a story or a title for your song, don't worry, I've got tons of tips to share with you. My life is pretty boring. However, I'm very observant, and sometimes I look outside, actually most of the time, I look outside of my own life for inspiration. Do you know someone who just broke up with someone else? Did they cheat? Did they lie? How did they break up? Who was involved? Who broke up with who? What are they doing now? Did they have something that connected them, like kids or pets? There is so much to write about when you look outside of your own life. There is so much to write about when you look outside of your own life. I'm not suggesting that you go and grill your friends or people you don't know about this kind of information, but if it's public knowledge, then go for it. Just use it, because I do it all the time. Listen to music that you would otherwise not be listening to. There's two places that I go when I am kind of in a country rut. I either go to my early pop days, like I love the Jonas Brothers, or I go for rock. And just, it kind of gets your brain flowing with new ideas that you would not normally put in a country song, but it could work. The last tip I have is the opposite of the last, but listen to artists and songs that make you want to sing along, because ultimately that's what you want. For me, I want all of my material to sound like Shania Twain could have sang it in 1998 when I was born. So I listen to her all of the time. Lastly, you just need to write as much as you can. Somebody told me once you have to write every day to be a successful songwriter.
And I was like, I don't write every day, I'm a terrible songwriter.
Which just isn't true, so I'm not gonna tell you that you have to write a song every day to be a good songwriter. Write when you can, write when you feel like it, and write when it feels right for you. And lastly, don't be discouraged if you think your songs are bad. I promise that they are not as bad as you think they are. Songwriting, like many skills, requires a lot of practice and a lot of failure to grow to be a good songwriter. So if you take your failures and grow from them, say, where did I go wrong with this song? Where can I improve on this song? And I think you can even turn your bad songs into good songs. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it really helped you in your songwriting journey. It took me forever to figure out all these things because, you know, my music program at my high school wasn't that amazing. It was fine, but it wasn't amazing. And it wasn't until college where I learned a lot of these things. So do not be discouraged. I'm here to help. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. I really liked making this content. If you want to get into more composition and production side of stuff, I really enjoy that as well. So if you want to hear more about that, hit the like button. And if you want to see more content just like this, maybe a little bit different, I like doing the reviews, I like doing kind of the listy videos, I love doing educational videos, so it's just a mixed bag of all kinds of country music content. So if you really enjoy that, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to get notifications. And I will see you next Sunday. Bye.